Next on Worcester News tonight, a Worcester institution celebrates 100 years in the city. A look at the history behind Georgia's Coney Island hot dogs. Plus, all eyes on Washington as the nomination of a Supreme Court justice takes another dramatic twist. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. 3 people are behind bars tonight for their role in a December assault and kidnapping. 3 of the 4 defendants indicted on the charges pled guilty in Worcester Superior Court Friday. Auburn police say they found a 16-year-old girl being held captive at a home on White Terrace last year. She was duct taped to a chair, drugged, raped, and assaulted. According to the Telegram, Crystal Lugo, Christopher Lugo, and Urel Torres Abbey were all sentenced to prison for their roles. The 4th defendant, Yeleni Ortiz, did not enter a plea agreement. He's due back in court November 5th. A former custodian of a central Massachusetts school facing a judge Friday. He's charged with making a terroristic threat. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
David Pepper appears in court Friday. The former lead custodian of the Faith School in Southborough is charged with making a terroristic threat.
One of the things that he said, as the legislature said, is that he was going to shoot up the school.
According to court documents, Pepper made the comments to a coworker on school grounds after receiving a poor review of his job. It was picture day at the private boarding school when the threat was allegedly made.
Photographs were planned to be taken out of doors, and the defendant said to the same fellow employee that it would be a good day for a sniper to be up a tree.
Prosecutors say the Webster man made a final comment about his knife while driving around the school in a golf cart.
He placed the utility knife in one of the front compartments and said to that fellow employee, "I better put this away so I don't use it."
The 51-year-old was fired and police removed him from the school after the incident last week. Pepper allegedly first denied making the comments, but then police say he admitted he was only joking.
Mr. Pepper absolutely denies that there were any threats made or intended.
Faith School officials say Pepper was hired in 2017. In a statement to parents, the school says he went through the same criminal and professional background review process that the school follows for all prospective employees. We had not received any other reports of threatening behavior prior to his termination.
And that was our Chandler Walsh reporting. The State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education says serious violations have led to the invalidation of last year's MCAS scores from a Worcester elementary school. In a letter released by the department Friday, the year-long investigation began after they found inconsistencies across the board at Chandler Elementary Community School. The state cites questions with items like students' average scaled scores, growth percentiles, and timing patterns in how students answered questions. The state also found the percentage of students meeting expectations and exceeding expectations was lower in every grade and every subject by an average of more than 20 points this year when compared to 2017. Switching gears now, when Georgia's Coney Island opened their doors, Babe Ruth was still a member of the Red Sox. The Worcester institution will celebrate 100 years in the city of Worcester this weekend. And after a century on Southbridge Street, they're looking forward to dishing out more hot dogs for another 100 years. Our Cam Jandro has the story.
Catherine Sandikos has been behind the counter at Georgia's Coney Island for as long as she can remember. Sunday, her family business celebrates 100 years on Southbridge Street.
It's always been exciting and neat to be a part of Worcester, and that we've, lasted through up and down times, I think is really great.
Coney Island opened in 1918. Sandikos' grandfather bought the restaurant in the 1920s. Over the last century, she says the popular hot dog spot has seen a lot.
From World War II to the changes in the 50s, the change in industry, and how people used to live around here, and the neighborhoods have changed, to the changes downtown, and really to the resurgence now of Worcester.
The smell of the dogs, the old-fashioned booths, and the iconic neon sign. Coney Island has become part of the city's culture. But for Sandikos, the stories are the best part.
My father used to bring me in here, and that is just such a beautiful thing. And to be a part of that, I can't express enough what that means to me and to my family.
As part of Sunday's celebration, part of Southbridge Street will be blocked off for a block party. But the celebration isn't just for Coney Island.
I think of it as more of a testament to the people of Worcester, and that's why we want to have this party. So it's, I don't think of us as up. We're here to serve it. As long as people come in, it's what we do, and we love to do it.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
And Sunday's block party will take place in front of Coney Island on Southbridge Street. Festivities start at 11 and go until 4. Typically known for their Christmas decorations, Vaillancourt Folk Art in Sutton is expanding this year and releasing a limited edition Christmas wine. The bottles feature custom design labels by Judy Vaillancourt, and there are only 672 of them. It features their wine Santa and different imagery of historic nature. The company says they came up with the idea after partnering with Latitude Beverage in Boston.
What we decided to do was come up with a wine that embodies Christmas. So it's something that really, works with the ideals of what we represent here at Vaillancourt, and that's quality, and that is the Christmas spirit, and then also something that really is a product that talks about Christmas and all that.
And the wine will be sold in-store, online, and at select Central Massachusetts restaurants, including Lock 50 and Via Italian Table. In honor of their 10th anniversary, Tony Bennett is the featured performer at the Hanover Theatre's Gala Friday night. The theater was built in 1904 and was remodeled in 2008 to what it is today, thanks to a $31 million project. President and CEO Troy Siebel says there was a need for the theater in the city, and now artists are reaching out to the venue to book shows.
We're really here to celebrate how far we've come over the last 10 years. We opened in 2008, which was not the best time to start a new business, right? But we bucked the trend. We were really successful, and I think it's because there was a need for us here. And I think now, looking back, you can see that we feel like we've made quite a difference here in downtown Worcester.
And tonight's performer, Tony Bennett, previously performed at the Hanover Theatre in 2013 and 2017. A special night out for women in the city with the 4th annual Woman Out in Worcester event. Tonight's Girls Night Out at Mechanics Hall features dozens of different activities for women, including vendors, drinks, and dancing. Creator Charlotte Hallberry says she came up with the idea when she realized there wasn't one place for women to do a lot of fun things at once. She says since she first started the event 4 years ago, it has grown into something much bigger.
We started off in the back of a restaurant. It was still so much fun. We had a great time. Every year I try to add in something new. So one year it was live entertainment, which we've continued over the years. One year it was a relaxation room. So each year we try and grow it and add something new for the guests to enjoy.
And Hallberry hopes this is something that will continue in the future. The Senate Judiciary Committee votes to send Judge Brett Kavanaugh nomination to the full Senate, but it comes with a condition. Republican Senator Jeff Flake supported sending the nomination to the Senate, but asked for an FBI investigation into the current alleged sexual misconduct reported by Dr. Christine Ford. It means the full vote will be delayed by a week. President Trump also offered the FBI to conduct a supplemental investigation into the Supreme Court nominee. And people all over are talking about the hearing, whether it's on social media, at workplaces, or in diners. And it's sparking plenty of debate locally. Our Rosalind Flaherty has more.
It was the talk over coffee this morning at Brody's Diner in Shrewsbury. Friends Ron Bertelli and Roland Carlson were among the millions of Americans watching the testimony of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
She was such a true and dedicated and honest lady, and then you had this judge who's an experienced person in the law field, and he's jumping all over her.
He came out swinging. He was really mad, and he really presented himself well.
During Thursday's hearing, Dr. Ford recounted an alleged incident from the early 1980s. She says Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a party where drinking was involved. Kavanaugh denies the claim and says he wasn't at the party described by Ford.
I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth.
I wanted a hearing the day after the allegation came up. I wanted to be here that day.
This individual is putting herself through and talking about being terrorized is really significant.
The hearings bringing out different opinions. Bertelli and Carlson say they can see both sides.
Nobody wins, you know, but what happens is somebody's not telling the truth.
She probably did had trouble with sexual encounters, but I think she's got the naming people wrong.
Attorney Kevin Larson says the hearing was bizarre, saying it was unlike anything you would see in a criminal courtroom.
Basically, it was just a hearing. They sort of gummed it up by having a prosecutor ask questions, which was weird because the prosecutor only asked questions to the victim, when in a normal trial, the prosecutor wouldn't be cross-examining the victim.
He supports an FBI investigation and says the way it was handled was a disservice to the American people.
I don't think it really accomplished anything other than it was a complete sideshow for political reasons. It certainly wasn't anything like we would have in a real criminal trial, and for that reason I don't think it was really fair to either person.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.